All right, welcome back, 8th grade students, to week 33. Staring down a completely blank page, well, it can be pretty intimidating, right? But today, we're going to change that. We're laying down the ultimate blueprint for mastering your writing foundation. We're going to look at the exact tools you need to build absolutely incredible literary response essays. So grab your notes, get focused, and let's build something amazing together. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be covering what a literary response actually is, why your writing matters, how to perfectly structure your essay, a quick knowledge check, and then finally, the Godly Learner's philosophy.
Let's dive right into Section 1. What is literary response?
Whenever you sit down to write, I want you to imagine that blank page as just an empty plot of land. And you're the architect. A literary response essay isn't about nervously guessing some magical right answer that your teacher has hidden away somewhere. Not at all. It's your personal chance to confidently share your clear understanding of a text. But there is a catch here. You can't just share an opinion out of nowhere. You've got to power it with solid evidence. It's kind of like being a lawyer in a courtroom, right? You state your case, and then you bring the actual receipts from the book to prove it. Moving on to Section 2, why your writing matters. Before we get into the real nuts and bolts of each essay, we have to talk about why you're putting in this hard academic effort in the first place. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters." So when you sit down at your desk to write this essay, you aren't just doing it to get a grade or just doing it for your teacher. Actually, you're practicing working with all your heart for a much higher calling. Your academic diligence is literally an act of dedication and worship. And beyond that incredible spiritual foundation, mastering this kind of essay brings massive real-world practical benefits. I mean, it sharpens your critical thinking and trains you to express your ideas with absolute clarity. And let me tell you, this is the ultimate preparation for high school, college, and whatever comes after. Whether you're sending a super important email or presenting a huge project later in life, learning how to organize your thoughts and strengthen your communication skills right now, that is going to set you up for lifelong success. All right, Section 3, structuring your essay perfectly. Okay, go ahead and put your hard hats on because we're going to examine the actual structural floor plan of a great essay. Every structurally sound essay has 3 basic parts. Step 1, the introduction. Step 2, the body paragraphs. And Step 3, the conclusion. Having this logical flow is an absolute lifesaver. It completely prevents you, the writer, from getting totally lost while you type. And, just as importantly, it stops your reader from getting confused. So let's break down each one of these steps. Think of the introduction as the front door of your house. It needs to look inviting, and it needs to tell people exactly where they are. You must name the text, the author, and the main idea of your essay, just to grab the reader's interest. Then you lock the whole thing in by finishing with your thesis statement. Your thesis, well, it's your anchor. It explicitly states your overall interpretation of the text. It's basically telling the reader, hey, here is exactly what I'm going to prove to you today. Now we walk into the main rooms of the house, the body paragraphs. Guys, this is where the magic happens. You need one main point per paragraph, always. Always starting with a topic sentence. But a truly brilliant essay requires a perfect balance of evidence and commentary. You absolutely need the raw evidence, those specific quotes or moments from the text. But evidence can't just speak for itself. You need commentary to bring it to life. Commentary is the why. It's that unique personal glue that explains exactly how that specific quote supports your thesis. Finally, we reach the conclusion. This is the roof on our house, the perfect wrap-up to the whole shebang. In your conclusion, you definitely don't want to introduce brand new evidence. Instead, just sum up your main points to remind the reader of the awesome journey you just took them on. But don't just stop there. Leave the reader thinking. Connect your academic work to a final insight or a bigger theme. Reflect on what this book actually means for real life. Okay, Section 4, checking your knowledge. Let's pause the construction for just a second to test what we've learned using your syllabus homework. Question 1, what is the purpose of a literary response essay? Like, why are we even writing this in the first place? And question 2, what should your thesis statement do? Remember that anchor we talked about in your introduction? Do you have your answers? Let's check them. So how did you do? The purpose is to share your clear understanding of a text powered by evidence. Remember, you're bringing those receipts. And your thesis statement? Well, its one job is to clearly express your overall interpretation of the text. It's the ultimate destination that you're driving your reader toward. Excellent job if you got those right. You're really grasping the core mission of this essay. Let's look at question 3. Now, this one gets into the actual mechanics of our blueprint. How should each body paragraph be structured? Think about the balance of those different elements inside the main rooms of your house. Okay, here's the exact formula. You present one main point per paragraph. You begin that paragraph with a clear topic sentence. Then you add your specific evidence from the text, and finally, you explain it with your commentary. Topic sentence, evidence, commentary. I promise you, if you follow that step-by-step structure, your argument is going to be absolutely rock solid. Let's tackle those final 2 homework questions. Question 4, why is commentary important after evidence? What is it actually doing? And question 5, give one way to end a literary response strongly. Think about that final, lasting impression you really want to leave on your reader.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that commentary is your unique voice. It's the glue, right? It explains exactly how the raw evidence supports the thesis. Because without commentary, your evidence is just a random quote floating around. And to end strongly, you take all those academic points you just made and you connect them to a bigger, real-world theme. You make the essay actually matter to life.
And that brings us to Section 5, the Godly Learner's Philosophy. This brings us to the most important part of our whole explainer today. We have to connect these academic skills right back to your spiritual foundation. Proverbs 4:7 says, "The beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding." When you write a literary response, yes, you're analyzing literature, but fundamentally, you're seeking true understanding, not just of books, but of life itself. When you read carefully and you respond thoughtfully, you're honoring God by using your mind to reflect truth. At Academy, we intertwined biblical morality with education for a very, very specific reason. Education without morality will hurt. I mean, think about it. What is the point of being highly educated and book smart if you just continue to make choices that damage your own life and hurt the people around you? That's an empty path. But education with morality, that means you're gaining true understanding, you're learning to make wise choices, and you are building a life of real, lasting purpose. And this comes with an absolutely incredible promise. Romans 8:6-7 says, "The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace." This is a promise of peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. As you engage with this educational content, as you put in the hard work to write well, and as you keep your mind spiritually focused, you will experience true peace. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. You now have the ultimate blueprint to write an incredible literary response essay. You've got the tools to structure your thoughts, provide solid evidence, and add your own unique commentary. But far more importantly, you know the godly foundation behind it all. So my question to you is this: how will you use your words and your mind to reflect truth and understanding today? I want you to really think on that as you start drafting your essay. I know you're going to build something brilliant. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.